your arms are so fatigued that just lifting your arm, it feels, heavy. And he's like, oh, you can do more. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And one time I went along with it. I'm like, because I seen that he was serious, and I'm like, all right, I'll fucking try, And then when I saw it, I'm like, God damn, I could. And then I was a little pissed at myself. I'm like, how many other times in life, and in how many other situations, it's not flattering for me to say that shit to you, but if I did that, many of you are doing that too. It's like, yeah, you could do more. Be grateful that you have some problems to solve. And, I would just temper that statement with, make sure you're solving problems that are profitable to you. You don't want to spend your life solving endless problems with no reward. That's called a fool. It might be an industrious fool of sorts, but it's still a damn fool. When you meet a girl who has a lot of problems and she wants you to solve all of them, wish her well, say best wishes, but not with me. Just go somewhere else. Somebody else is not going to feel that way. Somebody else is going to help you to use your energy. They're going to support you. They're going to give you some words of encouragement. Some other woman's going to show appreciation for who you are and who you're becoming and how that's going to help both of your lives and a family if you choose to have one. And she's going to treat you very differently. So why deal with some nutcase that is creating problems and wants you to solve them all? And same thing for a woman. If for a woman, why you want some loser man that's bringing more problems into your life? Your partner is supposed to make your life better. Your romantic partners are supposed to make your life better, not be an ongoing problem. No reason to do that. But I very much expect that, like every day there's going to be, if nothing's coming up, you're not working hard enough, There's always something. So fix it, solve it, fix this, fix that. Get a few new victories on the board, go to sleep, do it again. Do it again, do it again. And you can't help but see results over time. On my flight yesterday, I saw a quote on Instagram said, you must be stronger than your excuses. So you must be stronger than your excuses. And I thought, oh, that's great. I should mention that to here. And then I realized the quote, that post was from Rich Franklin. And I'm like, oh, he'll be here with me. We'll talk about it together. But, there's different words of different version of what, on the wall at my gym, I say your goals don't care about your excuses. So in the MMA gym, there's a big thing on the wall, about 2 foot by 3.5 foot. It says your goals don't care about your excuses. And his quote on here was, you must be stronger than your excuses. And change the words however you want to, but you get the general idea. So you can't sit around and make excuses and procrastinate and then wonder why good shit didn't happen. And the point that you made, Ward, about, this is back to some things that Tim was talking about. There are a lot of young people right now that they've kind of been brainwashed by television, by politicians. It's sort of a grotesque brainwashing that, like, you're supposed to have every luxury in life just because you were born. And everything's supposed to be perfect and beautiful. And if it's not, it's somebody else's fault, probably a man. That's the stupidest shit ever. So you have a bunch of people that their life is so good. You're born at the best time in human history, and you look around and you say, but it's not perfect yet. And you're deeply resentful of those that lived before you that didn't make the world perfect for you, though. Yes. But that's where a lot of that dissatisfaction comes from, is when a person doesn't have a problem, they'll start inventing problems. They'll start inventing that something's wrong. You don't need a lot of sympathy. What did Rich Franklin say about the hotel situation? He didn't even want to tell me about it. He knew I was busy. He didn't even want to bring it up. But I called him and I said, hey, did your check-in go? Is everything good? Your check-in went fine? Everything's good? He's like, actually, I'm at the front desk and they're saying there's not a room in my name. He wasn't even going to tell me about it. Maybe he'd talk to me later when we seen each other at nighttime, You see the difference in that type of person? Carla Esparza, you guys remember, some of you met Carla Esparza in person with me? Yeah. Carla had all kinds of problems. Her flights got canceled. She was supposed to fly. She cut her honeymoon a day short. She just got married to a nice man. He's a doctor. All right. And then she cut her honeymoon a day short to come talk at the event and come hang out with us. And she had to fly from Ireland to London. And then she got stuck at Heathrow, at London Heathrow, and her flight got canceled. And she waited in line for hours to try to get in a new flight. And then, if I remember correctly, that line closed. The customer service center closed for the night. And then they got rebooked manually or rebooked automatically, and through the app or something, she realized oh, they put us on this other flight. She took a 3-hour nap on the floor at Heathrow, and then couldn't even fly back. She's supposed to go to LA, and instead she had a layover in Phoenix. She flies Heathrow to Phoenix, and then another flight got canceled. She gets dicked around some more, and then she finally gets to fly from Phoenix to LA. And then she picks up her championship belt because she was sitting champion at the moment. And then she flew to Vegas from there. And that's like a couple days of torment and naps on planes and airports. And she didn't say a sour word about any of that shit. Everything was very constructive. Everything was easy and beautiful. Make note of those things that you find disgusting and make sure you never do them to others, because they're having the exact same response. Any productive person's having that same response. They also feel disgusted by it. What else?
Earlier today, we talked about having clear goals and clear consequences. And, Milos didn't even hear that conversation, but when you talk about being a coach for one of those bodybuilders, he laid it out directly to him, oh, these are the goals that we're going to go to the Olympia. And the consequences are going to be if not, we're not going to work together.
He didn't say these parts in detail, and I thought he would. But when we're working out together, this guy's trained 50 people that have been on the Olympia stage. He was on the Olympia stage, countless times. Look at his Wikipedia. So I go to train with this guy. And I did an interview with him. I was interested in some of the bodybuilder guys. I did an interview with him. And while we were doing that interview, I'm I got to go work out with this guy. It'd be stupid, it'd just be negligent and dumb to not take that opportunity. I'm I need this guy to help train me with some weightlifting. And by the way, what those guys do in bodybuilding is definitely at odds with a lot of MMA stuff. Those are, at the level that I'm doing them, it's fine, but I'm not trying to look like a pro bodybuilder for numerous reasons, that there's some supplements that a person would need to take that I'm not interested in taking. And additionally, the way they train, you have to do a lot of volume that you're training to be bigger, which doesn't necessarily make you stronger. And for fighting, you have much more focus on functional strength than trying to look big, without being tremendously stronger and with mobility loss. Does that sound like a good recipe for grappling? No. So keep that in mind, that when I say nice things about bodybuilding, and yes, I'm gonna go lift weights more, but I have a lot more focus on functional strength than trying to be a big puffy guy, who those guys can't fight. They don't even have the cardio. You've done enough wrestling yourself that if you have that much muscle mass, you don't even have the cardio, that your body can't pump that much blood and oxygen to support all the muscle mass. And if you had to fight one of those dudes, even if they were a talented fighter at one time, they got maximum 2 minutes of cardio. If you just keep them moving around for a little bit, they're out of breath and extraordinarily vulnerable. So that's not a recipe for a fighter. But in any case, I'm not at risk of being too big in my current form. So I'll go take some notes. But anyway, when I go train with this guy, we're doing it just crazy, set after set after, no breaks, just 10 of these, now 10 more, now 20 here, now 20 here, now 20 here, no break, no break, no break. So you're, kind of out of breath and doing, a lot of volume. Even today I did over 500 reps with him. Go back tomorrow and do it again. Go back the next day, do it again. But it's a lot of volume and it's, somewhat cardio intensive. But you can't walk on leg day. Like my legs are extraordinarily strong, and you can't even stand. You have to like literally have to sit down. That your legs won't support you. So I had to like hold machines to brace yourself to stand and shit. But he would say these things. He made this comment. He'd say these things of like, well, this is probably not realistic, but let's try to do this and this and this and this. And I'll go do it. And he'll look impressed, and then he'll up the bar in his head. He's like, well, if he can do that, then let's do that. And most of those I can make myself do the thing. And I actually learned quite a lot from that, even that you can make yourself do 3 more if you really want to. You can make yourself do a couple more reps. You can make yourself, you could take a 90-second break and get 15 more minutes of hard work out of your body. There's a lot of things you can do that probably you don't think you can do. So yeah, anyway, it's pretty intense working out with that dude. Then I had Flex Lewis, some of you guys met Flex before. So we were just training together, a week ago. And yeah, same type of shit. We're doing like silly amount of reps. So we did like 400 plus reps just for triceps. And your shit's sore. A motivational note that I touched on, but he moved off the subject. But another interesting thing about motivation I noticed with Milos is, I'll do best. If, on a serious note, I'll do best if he says, it's all in your mind. No, I have to believe him at the same time. I have to believe, all right, this guy's been lifting weights for 40 years. He's been an extraordinarily top-performing athlete in his prime. He's worked with an extraordinary number of other top level, athletes as well. So I have to believe he's telling me the truth for the mechanism to work. But there's times where he's like, you can do 3 more, and or you can do another set, and you don't want to, but you're like, all right, well, I can try, and then you can do it. So I found that interesting, because at first I didn't want to accept that information, and I was like, get the fuck out of here! Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can barely lift the bar right now because we've done so much volume, and my arms are so far. Like lifting your arm is. Your arms are so fatigued that just lifting your arm, it feels, heavy. And he's like, oh, you can do more. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And one time I went along with it. I'm like, because I seen that he was serious, and I'm like, all right, I'll fucking try, And then when I saw it, I'm like, God damn, I could. And then I was a little pissed at myself. I'm like, how many other times in life, and in how many other situations, So it's not flattering for me to say that shit to you, but if I did that, many of you are doing that too. If I did that, many of you are too. It's like, yeah, you could do more. Another mechanism that I think is more humorous, it's still motivating, but when you're trying to get that last couple of reps, and he's like, squeeze it like it owes you money. And I had to give him that script, by the way. I had to give him that sound bite because he would try a few other sound bites, and he's a big MMA fan, and he's kind of fanish about it, which that's fine. But he'll ask me who I've been training with, and so on and so on. He'd be like, imagine so and so is watching, and I'm like, huh? Like, I couldn't give a shit less if I'm gonna take a bunch of you guys and we're gonna go lift weights and do MMA stuff, and I'm fine if you're watching, and I'm not a fucking pro athlete, so I'm not gonna do it as good as they do, but I could do it respectably well, that it's in no way embarrassing to me to bring, many of my friends or clients or girlfriend or whatever, no problem, But I wouldn't have a thought in my head that, imagine so-and-so is watching. Like, I don't care. Like, I wouldn't care at all. Like, I'm doing a pretty good job, doing as best I can, doing a lot better than almost anybody else would, so, okay. So that was an effective mechanism, so I had to feed him that other mechanism. Like, instead of that, say to me, squeeze it like it owes you money. And then that's much more effective. So find the sound bites that work for you to get that extra little oomph here and there. Whatever it might be for you, it might be something different, but find the little cheerleader antics to help yourself. Say them to yourself. Be your own cheerleader to get through the things that you can say to yourself, no, you can do 3 more. You've done it before. If you could do 3, you could do 4 more if you needed to. You could do 4 more if you needed to, et cetera, Find those things that work and use them. Be a good cheerleader for yourself. You don't need an external cheerleader in those contexts.
Some people are confused. They say, Derek, what is the 10 Commandments of Wealth? Not the 10 maybes of wealth. It's the 10 core things that you're going to need to know about in detail if you'd like to accumulate significant wealth in your lifetime. Click this link up here to find more information, exactly what is the 10 Commandments of Wealth, how is the program structured, what's inside of it, how are you going to benefit from it. If you're doing well already and you'd like to do better, click that link and find out more. There's over 100 hours of content in this program. I've interviewed dozens of world champions that shared what it took for them to win, to be the top Hall of Fame athletes in their respective areas. And I brought a lot of other superstars in there from business, people that are real world entrepreneurs that made serious money, as I have myself. We all share with you what are the foundations you're going to need to know if you want to be successful yourself. Be a chooser, not a loser. Leave a comment if you want a business or success question answered, and subscribe for even more winning.